A terrorist attack has left the citizens of London and members of Parliament terrified. We have more coming up.
Also, we get to know a couple of local artists who are making Las Vegas a little more colorful. All this and more, you're watching Studio G.
Good afternoon, Rebels, and welcome to Studio G. I'm Jessica Vargas.
And I'm Jamie Poole.
We begin today with breaking news of a terror attack in London that has left 4 people dead and 20 people with injuries so far, according to NPR. The video you are seeing happened right after the car ran over pedestrians as people run to the scene. Here's what we know so far. A car collided with pedestrians on the Westminster Bridge, which is the iconic bridge next to Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. The driver crashed the vehicle into a fence outside Parliament. After that, a police officer had been stabbed and the terrorist had been shot and killed by armed police. Witnesses who were on the bridge spoke about the scene right as it happened.
We were just coming over the Westminster Bridge, yeah.
We were actually on the bridge. We heard gunshots, what we thought was gunshots, turned around and we saw the car ploughed into a lady, and I think it was a lady, I'm not 100% sure, but underneath the wheel, you could hear screams, and then we heard gunshots again, and as we looked along the bridge, because we were only crawling along the bridge, there was bodies, literally.
Must have been about 10 bodies.
10,
yeah,
12 bodies,
shot,
all in different
just lying
places.
in different places along the bridge.
Being shot, yeah.
This is the scene in London as police investigate a possible terrorist attack. Police say they are treating it as a terrorist incident. There are reports of 20 injuries and 4 fatalities, including some people on Westminster Bridge. The incident occurred as Parliament was in session and proceedings in the House of Commons were suspended. Dozens of members of Parliament remain in the House. They've been told to stay away from windows. Also on lockdown, the Houses of Parliament. Surrounding roads in Westminster Underground Station, a police statement was provided on the course of events.
The Met's Counter-Terrorism Command. At this stage, I will confirm what we know has happened, but I will not speculate. We received a number of different reports, which included a person in the river, a car in collision with pedestrians, and a man armed with a knife. Officers were already in that location as part of routine policing, but immediately additional officers were sent to the scene, and that included firearms officers. We are working closely with the London Ambulance Service and the London Fire Brigade.
No terror organizations have claimed the attack yet. London police have said that they are keeping things open in case this is an isolated incident and not what many people fear it to be, a coordinated terror attack again. So far, 4 fatalities and 20 injuries in the heart of London.
UNLV's law school runs several clinics that offer free legal representation to people in the state. Annabelle Rocha has more on how one professor is leading his students to help undocumented immigrants.
UNLV has a lot of amenities to offer. Here at the Boyd School of Law, students run clinics that offer free representation to the community.
I look at the immigration clinic as kind of an elite surgery at a top research hospital where we are going to take on the hardest cases in the country.
Las Vegas has the second highest number of undocumented immigrants in any U.S. city, which Kagan says makes this an important issue.
So as a university, as the largest university in Southern Nevada, to serve this community, we have to serve immigrants as well, and that's what we're doing here.
The Bernstein Children's Rights Program specializes in representing undocumented children who are in the U.S. without their parents. The program was started by former grad students Caitlin Lease and Alyssa Cooley, who also started a tradition in the office.
Remember each kid, they had handprints. They took the child's handprint after the child won asylum or won permission to stay in the United States. And they were just doing this personally, I think, just to remember the cases that they had worked on. It's a fantastic tradition to remind us basically what's at stake, that these aren't just pieces of paper going to a court, that in these cases, there's small kids at stake who are in real danger.
The immigration clinic currently runs every semester. For more information, visit their website down below. For Studio G, I'm Annabelle Rocha.
The Edward M. Bernstein and Associates Children's Rights Program takes referrals for children who need representation in deportation cases.
It may come as a surprise that there is currently more than $1.4 trillion in outstanding student loan debt nationally. However, not all students use their loan money towards education.
I'm on the UNLV campus where I'm talking to students about their loans and if they're actually using it towards their education or if they're using it more towards personal items and leisurely activities, as a new study has reported for millennials.
According to the Financial Aid and Scholarship Office of UNLV, over 20,000 students are receiving financial aid. Many students claim that they have no other way to pay for their tuition other than student loans.
In California, my tuition costs were over $10,000, so I took out loans then. And then I came here in 2015, and I also was facing a $10,000 tuition, so I had to get out loans. There was no way I could pay it out of pocket.
According to a new study, millennials are not using their loans for solely educational purposes, but for personal items as well.
So my tuition is paid for through women's soccer. I get money from the school and I use that to pay for rent, groceries, gas, and things like that.
Sometimes the loans are used for educational purposes.
The time I did use money for school was I took out a loan to study abroad, and that was like the only time that I used a loan for.
While others will admit they've used the excess funds for other things.
Okay, you got me. I may have used some of the extra funds to help pay for my rent and to buy some new school clothes, but for the most part, it's been solely for paying for school. I've saved whatever is left over to help pay for summer school.
Many students are quite familiar with the FAFSA website in order to apply for financial aid, but the website also mentions important details like how to repay your loans or what to do if you can't afford the payments. Because don't forget, you do have to pay them back.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Alyssa Truesdale.
With 400,000 borrowers in default on their loans, students are being advised to check with their lender regarding repayment plans.
British researchers recently found that a good night's sleep feels like winning the lottery. I went out to ask UNLV students their thought on the topic. After studying sleep patterns of more than 30,000 people over 4 years, researchers found that a good night's sleep helps improve your mood in a way similar to winning a jackpot of about $150,000. Some students spoke about what their sleep is like and if it gives them the winning feeling.
Because when I don't get enough sleep, I get lots of headaches and I'm grumpy almost all the time if I don't get enough sleep.
Well, I'm an athlete here, so being an athlete here, you don't really get a lot of sleep that you want, and you have to wake up early and stuff. So I wouldn't say it's equivalent to that, but I would say it's a good feeling to have a good amount of sleep and be able to get through your day.
Absolutely, especially on a long night or a day after a long test or anything. You have to go to work, do anything with obligation. If you get to have a nice long day of sleep afterwards, you feel like you got a million bucks the next.
I can study better and focus better in class if I actually do get at least more than 6 hours of sleep.
Right. Honestly, I don't feel like it'd be the equivalent because if I get a good night's sleep, I can get up the next day refreshed. But if I win the lottery, I'm going get some new J's. I'm getting an Xbox One, maybe a PlayStation, a plasma screen. I feel like I'd just be balling if I got that.
The lead researcher says the study shows that improving both the quality and amount of sleep is effective in improving society's health and well-being. Maybe after a good night's sleep, you'll wake up feeling like $150,000.
Coming up, we take a look at what's going on around the valley. We'll be right back.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
Miles Low.
It's your girl, Scribe Cash.
My name's Fabian Stefan.
Perpetual Player One.
And I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison.
My name is Haley Rogers.
From the Miles Low Midweek Show.
Your Scribe Cash radio show.
You can listen to Pixel Jam.
Press start to play.
And this is The Takeover.
Rock on Rebel.
On KUNV HD2.
From the RebelHD2.com.
Welcome back to Studio G. Let's take a look at some of the biggest headlines in the Valley. Governor Brian Sandoval and Attorney General Adam Laxalt endorsed a resolution restating the opposition to any effort to license Yucca Mountain as a high-level nuclear waste dump on Monday. The resolution was introduced last week just as President Trump announced a budget request of $120 million to restart licensing proceedings. Nye County Commission Chairman Dan Shinhoffen took an alternate position, saying that a proceeding in front of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission would answer scientific questions about the suitability of Yucca Mountain to store 77,000 metric tons of the nation's spent nuclear fuel.
A bill regarding marijuana treatment in Nevada was presented to the Senate on Monday. The bill proposed looser medical marijuana regulations. If passed, the bill would allow veterans to obtain a medical marijuana card, add PTSD to the list of conditions that qualify for those cards, and make it so cards do not need to be renewed. It would also set the foundation for state universities to begin researching the effects of marijuana and allow for the cultivation and production of marijuana in Nevada.
Nevada voted to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment on Monday, making it the first Senate in 40 years to support the addition to the U.S. Constitution. The amendment is designed to guarantee equal rights for women. The amendment was originally introduced in 1923. Senate efforts to approve the ERA in Nevada in the 70s and early 80s all failed.
Galaxy Theaters is expecting to open a location in Las Vegas. The Boulevard Mall will be housing the new theater, which is set to open in December. The theater operator's president said he wants the theater to be ready in time for the new Star Wars movie, according to the Review Journal. The theater will be hiring about 20 full-time staffers and 60 part-time staffers. Galaxy Theaters are currently found in Henderson and North Las Vegas.
CSN received more than $36,000 to upgrade and expand its aviation program. The award comes from the Governor's Office of Science, Innovation, and Technology, which announced $1 million in new grants for community colleges, agencies, and workforce training providers. CSN plans on creating a training simulation lab at the school's Henderson campus.
North Las Vegas Park held a paintball tournament on Sunday. The National X-Ball League is a nationwide series that hosts hundreds of amateurs and professional teams from all over the world in a series of 5 tournaments. Players received a map of the playing field 2 weeks in advance. The next tournament will be held in May in Texas.
A Las Vegas artist is on the rise. Kayleen Talons has more.
Thriving local artist named Jazz Leon has an interest in photography and fashion. I got the chance to talk to her about her journey and the amount of time it took to get where she is now.
I think as a young teenager, I was allowed to get into creative outlets. I think my parents allowed me a lot to, explore my options with being creative. And I think that's what really inspired me at a young age, is being into photography, like taking photography classes in high school. And it just stuck to me ever since. I've always lingered it into my future. And now I think it's something serious where I'm actually pursuing it.
Trying to become a somebody in this type of industry is not easy. Jazz Leon explains the struggle behind the scenes.
It's definitely a huge struggle because in this industry, there's a lot of people doing the same thing you're doing. And I think that's actually with any other industry. Like, everyone's always trying to make it and push it. So the struggle is standing out, having great relations with people, knowing how to connect with people, and just making sure you're on your toes. You're always trying something new, exploring, not being afraid to take chances.
Throughout her journey, Jazz Leon has worked on a few projects, but there's one specific accomplishment that she is definitely proud of.
I think my biggest accomplishment would be working with the head marketing team at Helmut Lang, which is like a high-end label that was basically the pioneers of streetwear men's fashion. I was able to work with the marketing team and pull pieces from their headquarters and then take it to a photo shoot that I was shooting a model from Vogue. And I think that was my greatest accomplishment because not only I was able to do that and I was able to push it out, but I was able to get it onto a blog that was really well known in my industry.
For Studio G, I'm Kayleen Talents.
If you want to contact Jazz Leon for photography bookings, you can email her at jazzleon@jazzleon.com.
Now let's take a look at our weather. How's it looking, Taimi?
Hello, how are you? My name is Taimi and welcome to your weather segment. I can tell you that right now we are in the 69 degrees, and although it's going to be cloudy, we might have chances of showers, so just be alert, just wear a sweater and have an umbrella just in case. The highest is going to be 72 and 56 in the lowest. And as you can see here, the picture of the day, in Peru they are experiencing flooding due to heavy rain. And according to the Associated Press, 72 people have lost their lives and more than thousands of people are now homeless. So we wish them the best in this hard moment. Let's come back here to Las Vegas. The 5 days right now, as you can see, the lowest is going to be on Saturday with 70 degrees, 53 being the lowest that day. The highest on Monday with 77 degrees. And let's take a look at the rest of the valley. Right now we have Nellis on 71. Again, Las Vegas, Henderson, and Green Valley being the highest temperature in the valley. The lowest, Boulder City, 69. And let's take a look right now here at UNLV, 69 degrees. Like I said, it's going to be cloudy. The wind speed 15 miles per hour. But tonight we will be in the 55 degrees. Cloudy, like I said, and the wind speed 17 miles per hour. And the rest of the country, let's take a look in here. Boston 33, Orlando and Miami in the 80s. Beautiful weather over there. We still have some snow though here in the east side of the country, New York, Washington, but here in the west, let's have Salt Lake City 69, Denver 79. And like I said, in here, it's going to be like in the 70s. And when we come back, we're going to be sitting with a local artist who's making Las Vegas Art District a little bit more colorful. We'll be right back.
Have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major is you have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Nutrition Center. Anyone from the Las Vegas community is welcome. We can get more people into the Nutrition Center, get them more educated, then they can learn what ways to prevent chronic diseases and to become healthier individuals. All classes are held in BHS building, Bigelow Health Sciences, room 212, and the times vary, but you could always check them at the UNLV calendar or UNLV Today, and all the classes, times, and descriptions are available there.
Welcome back to Studio G. I'm Alyssa Truesdale. The world-famous Las Vegas Arts Factory is home to many talents. Ashley Renan caught up with one talent who had more than just artwork to share.
The Las Vegas Arts District is more than just a place where artists hang their work. For one local artist, the district represents a place of culture, community, and purpose.
My name is Alexander P. Huerta. I'm a mixed media visual artist in downtown Las Vegas. I own Peace and Art Studio.
The Bay Area native has been calling the world-famous Arts Factory home since 2008. But his story truly began when he hit rock bottom.
Rock bottom comes for some of us humans that make bad decisions and don't learn from the lessons that were taught to you over and over. And at rock bottom, luckily I had been painting for about 4 years at that time. I figured, I'm thinking my life might be coming to an end because of decisions I made and health issues. And I thought, well, if you're gonna die, Alex, do art. Just do art. Every day, it makes you feel good.
And he's since found solace in a place he never thought he'd end up.
What do artists do with their work? I didn't know. I was painting my room for 5 years, and then I realized, artists show their work here somewhere. Let's go find out. I started gallery sitting. That gallery sitting experience was the key to me integrating into the art scene here. I started feeling like a member of the community. And that's what our community is, very embracing, our community.
As for Huerta's latest artwork series, the Vintage Urban Collection.
I am now working on the third series of my Vintage Urban Collection. I started doing this work in February of 2013. The shapes of my buildings with blueprints, mainly Las Vegas blueprints. They shape the face of my building. The most rewarding moment is when you get to the end of a finished piece and you put another piece into the world that has never been here before.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Ashley Renan.
You can visit Alex and view his artwork in his Peace and Art studio at the Arts Factory every day from noon to 8 p.m. If you can't visit Alex in the near future, we're lucky to have him on our show today. Thanks for joining us today, Alex.
You're welcome. Thank you.
After watching that clip, your artwork is absolutely beautiful. How did you get started?
I started doing art at the age of 30. After the previous year, I looked at Steve Wynn's Picasso during a view of his private collection. And I never knew that I had thoughts of creating art until the moment I looked at the Picasso. A year later after that, I went and bought paint, started painting. That was around 1996. And here I am, 21 years later, making my living as an artist in the downtown area.
And did you have any kind of inkling when you were younger? I mean, were you artistic as a child, or just kind of happened out of nowhere?
It did happen out of nowhere. As a child, you learn how to color. My older sister, Roberta, taught me how to color, so I remember that. Art wasn't in my mind like most artists. If you talk to them, you could tell, they'll tell you the story of how art was on their mind from the moment they could remember. I colored, I did art crafts with my mom for holidays, but never was art on my mind. It was always sports with my little brother, staying out of trouble.
And then what do you express through your artwork? Is it just something that comes to you? Is it something you see? Do you do landscapes? I mean, where does it all come from?
Okay. It all comes from discovering. Because I didn't know anything about art when I started, I've been discovering for 21 years of what I can do, what the materials can do. And because of that reason, my work is really organic. It develops from one thought of maybe color, and everything comes after that. Or one thought of a word, such as my radiant canvases. They start with words or just a real simple image, and then all the thoughts start getting dropped on the canvas after that.
And then can you describe how you're putting it onto the canvas? Is it just, like, what exactly do you do? Are you just painting, sketching?
Okay. I do many styles of work. I work with mixed media, meaning I use oil, acrylic, collage, pencils, pen, maybe all in one piece of art. And I paint my Vintage Urban Collection, as you see in that clip, the black and white work. Those are scratched with Las Vegas blueprints onto wood with images of Life magazine. When I paint with a brush, it's big, large canvases, 9 foot by 12 foot, 6 foot by 6 foot, and that's house paint, oil pastel, paint pens, Sharpies, a little bit of spray paint. And my imagery or my subject matter is always about either my individuality or the society we live in.
And what does your schedule usually consist of? Do you do artwork every single day? How long does it take to complete a piece? I mean, can you go into detail about that?
Yes. I'm blessed to be able to go to my studio every day for the last 8.5 years. So I get to choose whether I actually want to create pieces that day or just, maybe sit around my studio. But I've always got artwork in the works. I'm always working on a new collection or trying to discover something new that I haven't tried yet. And so if you walk into my studio, there'll be finished works on my wall, there'll be unfinished works on the wall and on the floor, and sometimes I even have a guest artist in my studio.
And then can you kind of describe your studio? I mean, why the Arts District? Do you sell out of there? Do you how does that work?
So I've been going to the world famous art factory for about 8.5 years, but I've been hanging out there for about 15 years. It is the central hub for all artists in Las Vegas. It was created by a man called Wesley Miles, which we now call the father of the arts district. He created this synergy place for artists to come and share knowledge and create this new community for Las Vegas, which has never been here. And so, you know, the people that you get to meet down there are people that they really want to communicate and share. And it's not, you know, that main hustle that you feel of Las Vegas or the Strip or downtown.
All right. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much. And as we mentioned earlier, the shop is open from noon to 8 p.m. every day. After the break, we take a look at a spa that's just for the little ones.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own, and that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
I think we're feeling like excited about the prospects. We know we're going to drop a lot of time, hopefully break a few records, and I think that the team is ready to go.
I'm pretty excited. We've done very well as a team this year, and I think coming into taper, I think we're going to do really well these next few weeks.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
Wish you could take your baby to their own spa? Well, now there's a whole new way to pamper your baby, thanks to an Australian spa that's just for the little ones. Baby Spa Perth offers spa services for newborns ranging from infant massage to hydrotherapy. The spa says treatment may improve sleep and promote muscle growth. Besides, what better way for a newborn baby to unwind after a grueling day of sleeping all day? It will make some people at the spa say, "Oh, baby."
That looks like so much fun. I wish I could work there and play with the little babies all day.
It is really cute. I've never heard of a spa being for little ones. This is definitely very unique.
I think that's a first.
Yeah. So
hopefully we'll get one here in the United States soon.
Of course. Thanks for watching Studio G. Be sure to follow us on social media at UNLV Studio. I'm Jessica Vargas.
And I'm JB Poole. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Studio G.